Did you see that? The goats ran again the moment she stepped into the compound. That girl is strange. Even Annie always run.
They said her footsteps made the goats scatter like they saw a spirit. They said her laughter brought bad luck. They said the day she was born, the rain fell with angry thunder because the land rejected her. But listen, the same girl they called Curse was the only one who later walked into Oji Forest. The forest people enter only when they want to die. And what she brought back from there didn't just save a life. It exposed wickedness hiding inside family love. The village was Umuoko, in Nigeria. Clay houses, zinc roofs, palm trees, and elders who spoke like their words were iron. People greeted each other in the mornings, but they still carried gossip like it was firewood. Her real name was Amaka, but no one called her that outside her father's mouth. They called her half-face because her left eye was cloudy from birth, like a white film covered it. And her right foot was twisted, so she walked with a drag. People didn't notice the other thing. Amaka had golden brown eyes that looked like honey in sunlight. But who studies the eyes of a girl they already decided to hate? Her mother died during childbirth, and the women whispered, the child collected the mother's breath. But her father, Ease, refused that story. He raised her alone. He tied her wrappers, cooked her food, and taught her small riddles at night. Amaka, he would tell her, you are not the problem. People fear what they don't understand. Keep your heart clean. For years, it was the two of them. Then one planting season, Ease collapsed in the cassava farm. 3 days later, he was buried behind the family compound, where the soil was dark and heavy. At the burial, his older sister, Auntie Ijeoma, cried the loudest. She held Amaka's shoulders and spoke softly, from today, you are my child. You will not suffer. Amaka believed her. That was her first mistake. Because after 1 week, just 1 week, when neighbors stopped coming around, Auntie Ijeoma's voice changed. Her eyes turned sharp. And Amaka's father's house became a place where Amaka worked like a borrowed goat. Every morning before sunrise. Amaka. Water from the stream. 6 trips. Don't spill. Then. Pound pepper. Wash plates. Sweep the compound. Feed the goats. Clean the toilet. And if she moved slow because of her twisted foot, they called her lazy and beat her with words that hurt more than a slap. Auntie Ijeoma had a daughter, Bisi, tall, shiny-skinned, always smiling. Bisi wore beads, took selfies with her phone, and acted like she was born to be admired. The boys in the village gathered around her like ants around sugar. Amaka slept in a small shed near the goat pen. Not because there was no space, there was. But because Auntie Ijeoma wanted her to remember her place. Years passed like that. Amaka grew into a young woman, still limping, still half-blind, but her mind stayed strong. And then, one morning, the village drum changed everything. That day, the village square filled fast. Market women left tomatoes on the table. Men stopped playing draft. Even the noisy children suddenly became quiet. A royal messenger arrived from the nearby town where the palace was. In Umuoko, the palace was not far. The king ruled many villages, and his name was Igunadi. The messenger raised his staff and announced, people of Umuoko and all villages under this crown. Prince Chima, the only son of the Igu, has a sickness called night shadow. It is draining him like a leaking pot. Our healers have tried everything. The crowd murmured. Night shadow was feared. People said it started small, weakness, cold sweats, strange dreams, then it carried the person away. The messenger continued, there is one cure. The dawn lily. It blooms once in many years, inside Oji Forest, near the old sacred river. Any maiden who brings it back will be honored, and the prince will marry her. You know how such news enters people's heads. Immediately, many girls began to imagine crown and necklace, palace life and soft life. Mothers started measuring their daughters with their eyes. In Auntie Ijioma's compound, Bisi shouted,
I'm going! I will be the next queen! Yes, yes, my daughter. This is your chance.
Auntie Ijioma smiled like a hungry person seeing food. Yes. We will dress you well. We will make sure everybody notices you. Amaka listened quietly, but her heart wasn't beating fast because of marriage. It was beating because she remembered suffering. When you have suffered, you understand what it means to need help and get none. Later, Amaka spoke gently. Auntie, can I also try? Not to be queen. Just to help. The prince is dying. Auntie Ijioma laughed. A dry laugh. You. With your leg and your eye. Forest will swallow you and spit you out. Stay and clean the goat pen. That is where you belong. Bisi added, if the prince sees you, his sickness will get worse. The next day, the girls who went to Oji Forest returned with fear. One came back crying, saying the wind spoke her name. Another said the path kept changing. Another said she saw her own burial in a dream and ran. On the third day, Bisi also returned. Her wrapper was torn. Her lipstick was gone. Her confidence disappeared. Mother, she whispered, that forest is not normal. The messenger came again, looking tired. The prince has 3 days. Is there no one left? That night, Amaka lay in her shed. The goats made small sounds beside her. The moonlight entered through the cracks, touching her face like a quiet hand. She remembered her father's voice. Keep your heart clean. She remembered the prince she never met, dying in a palace full of people but still alone. And she made a decision. When Auntie Ijioma and Bisi slept, Amaka stood up. Her twisted foot pained her, but she tied it tight. She wrapped herself with her father's old scarf, her only treasure. No food, no water, no helper. Just her and the night. And she walked toward Oji Forest. At the entrance of Oji Forest, the air changed. Even the crickets were quiet. The trees looked older than people. The darkness didn't feel like normal night. It felt like something watching. Amaka stood there and breathed. Her cloudy eye didn't see well, but her other eye saw enough. She took one step in, and the forest swallowed her. Inside, she heard whispers. Go back. You are unwanted. Half face, go and hide. Branches pulled at her wrapper. Roots caught her twisted foot. But Amaka kept moving, one painful step after another. She didn't argue with the forest. She just walked. After a long time, she reached a clearing near Silent River. The water looked black, like ink. In the middle of the clearing stood a woman, tall and calm, with skin that shined like moonlight on water. Amaka's throat went dry. She knew this was not a normal human being. The woman smiled. So the brave one is not the beautiful one. Amaka bowed small. I came for the dawn lily. The prince is dying. The spirit's eyes narrowed. Many came for crown. Few came for life. Tell me, Amaka, why should I let you take what is sacred? Amaka answered simply, because I know suffering. And I don't want another person to suffer when help is possible. The spirit walked around her slowly. Then answer my questions. 3 questions. If you lie or guess, you will not leave this place. Amaka nodded. Ask. First question, what grows bigger the more you hide it? Amaka thought of Auntie Ijioma's wickedness. She thought of secrets in compounds. She answered. Shame. The more you hide shame, the bigger it becomes. The spirit's smile reduced. Good. Second question, what can break a family without making a sound? Amaka remembered how love can turn to cruelty behind closed doors. She said, envy. The spirit nodded slowly. Third question, what is heavier than a bag of stones, but cannot be carried with hands? Amaka's chest tightened. She knew this one. She lived it. She answered, "A wicked heart. It is heavy, and it destroys the person carrying it." Silence filled the clearing. Then the spirit stepped aside. Behind her, near the river, the dawn lily glowed softly, pale gold, like morning trapped inside petals. Amaka moved closer and picked it gently. The flower felt warm, like it was alive. Her eyes watered, not from fear, but from relief. Then the spirit said, "Before you go, one more offer. I can fix your foot. I can clear your cloudy eye. You will enter the palace like a brand new person. People will clap for you. But if you accept, you will lose your softness. Your heart will become sharp." Amaka stood still. Let me be honest. She wanted it. Who wouldn't? She imagined walking without pain. She imagined seeing clearly. She imagined Auntie Ijeoma begging. But she remembered her father. Amaka shook her head. "No. I don't want a clean body with a dirty heart. Let me go. Somebody is dying." The spirit's face softened. "Go. And may truth walk with you." The trees opened a path. The forest that attacked others now guided her like a friend. Amaka reached home at dawn and collapsed near the goat pen, the flower pressed to her chest. And because she was exhausted, she slept. That was when wickedness did what it always does. When Amaka opened her eyes, her chest went cold. The dawn lily was gone. She stood up, shaking. Then she heard the village noise, people singing, clapping, shouting. The sound was moving toward the palace. Amaka limped fast, ignoring pain. She followed the crowd like a shadow. At the palace courtyard, she saw it. Auntie Ijeoma and Bisi were kneeling before Igunadi. And Bisi held the dawn lily like it belonged to her. Auntie Ijeoma said loudly, "My king! My daughter entered Oji Forest. She defeated the spirits. She brought the cure." The Igwa's eyes were sharp. "If you truly entered, tell me what the spirit asked you." Bisi froze. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. She looked at her mother. Her mother squeezed her hand as if pushing lies into her palm. The prince, Chima, lay on a bed beside the throne, weak and pale. He whispered, "Father, please, whoever truly found it, don't let them be cheated." Those words hit Amaka like hot water. Amaka's legs shook. She was afraid. She knew what Auntie Ijeoma could do to her if she spoke. She knew people would mock her. She knew the crowd loved beauty more than truth. But she also knew something else. If she stayed silent today, she would stay silent forever. So Amaka stepped forward. Her voice cut through the noise. "It is a lie." The courtyard went quiet. Everybody turned. They saw her, limping, dusty, one eye cloudy, face tired. The same girl they barely greeted in the village. The Igwa raised his hand. "Speak." Amaka said, "I entered Oji Forest. I met the river spirit. I answered her questions. I picked the dawn lily. I came back and slept near the goat pen. They took it from my chest." Auntie Ijeoma shouted, "This useless girl is lying. Look at her, who will believe her?" The Igwa looked at Amaka. "What questions?" Amaka answered clearly. She asked, "What grows bigger the more you hide it?" I said shame. She asked, "What can break a family without making a sound?" I said envy. She asked, "What is heavier than a bag of stones but cannot be carried with hands?" I said a wicked heart. The Igwa's face changed. He believed her. Because those were not answers a random liar picks easily. Those answers sounded like someone who had lived pain and still chose goodness. Then a hunter stepped forward. "My king, I saw her enter the forest at night. At dawn, I saw her return with the glowing flower. I watched these two take it from her while she slept." The crowd erupted. People began to shout. Some covered their mouths in shock. The Igwa stood. "Auntie Ijeoma, Bisi, you stole courage. You stole truth. You made a human being a slave in her father's compound. Auntie Ijeoma fell to the ground, begging. Bisi cried, blaming her mother. But the eagle was not moved. Then Amaka spoke softly, "My king, please. Give the flower to the prince first. Let him live." The royal healer prepared the dawn lily. The prince drank it. Slowly, color returned to his face. His breathing calmed. People screamed with joy. Prince Chima looked at Amaka like he was seeing her for the first time. "You didn't come for fame," he said weakly. "You came because it was right." Amaka's eyes filled with tears. "I just didn't want anyone to suffer alone." The eagle turned to Amaka. "Name your reward." Amaka paused. She could ask for money. She could ask for land. She could ask to punish them. But she said, "Let me be free. Let no child in Umuoko be treated like I was treated. And let truth be louder than beauty." The eagle nodded. And in front of everyone, he declared a new law: no orphan or vulnerable child would be turned into a house slave again. Anyone who tried it would face the king's judgment. Auntie Ijeoma and Bisi were punished. Not with death, no. The eagle gave them hard labor under watch, and they returned to the village with shame following them like a shadow. The same shame they planted in another person's life. Amaka went back to Umuoko, not as half-face, not as curse, but as the girl who brought truth out of darkness. And that is where the story ends. My people. My people, imagine if she kept quiet that day. That's why I always say, silence can reward wickedness. If you enjoyed this story, smash the like button, subscribe to Gist Folktale, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Comment below, should she forgive them or not? Drop your location too. I'll see you in the next story, and trust me, the next one is even deeper.